Hey guys, welcome back to Cyber Platter. This is part 2 of entry level SOC interview question and answers. There is part 1 which has about 10 questions. I would highly recommend to go through this before going through the current video. There are other cybersecurity topics as well, like identity and access management, incident response, access control, and interview questions on pen test, SIM, EDR, vulnerability management, scenario based questions. I will link all of them in the description box if you want to go through it. Let's go to the first question. Can you differentiate between IDS and IPS? IDS stands for Intrusion Detection System. IPS stands for Intrusion Prevention System. Both of these are security tools used to protect computer networks, but they serve different purposes and have distinct functionalities. IDS monitors and identifies suspicious or malicious activities within a network or system. Intrusion prevention actively prevents or actively blocks or actively mitigates security threats and attacks in real time. So IDS passively observes network traffic and system activities, analyzing data for known attack signatures or unusual patterns. IPS monitors network traffic and system activities, capable of taking automated actions to stop or block malicious activities. IDS will only generate alerts or notifications to inform security personnel about potential intrusions, but does not take any automatic actions to stop the attack. While IPS actively responds to threats in real time, such as blocking network traffic, dropping malicious packets, or resetting connections. IDS is valuable for threat detection, forensic analysis, and network monitoring. So it is mainly used to identify and investigate potential security incidents, whereas IPS is used for real-time prevention and mitigation of threats. So IPS is suitable for protecting critical assets and networks from attacks. So those are the main differences between IDS and IPS. So in summary, while both IDS and IPS play crucial roles in network security, IDS focuses on monitoring and alerting, and it leaves the decision to respond to threats to human analysts. But IPS actively prevents and mitigates threats in real time through automated actions based on predefined policies. The choice between IDS and IPS depends on an organization's specific security needs, risk tolerance, and operational requirements. Now let's go to the next question. Next question is define firewall and its role in network security. A firewall is a network security device or software application that acts as a barrier between a trusted internal network and untrusted external networks. This untrusted external network is usually the internet. So its primary purpose is to monitor, filter, and control incoming and outgoing network traffic based on a predefined set of security rules. Firewalls can be implemented as hardware appliances, software applications, or a combination of both, and they serve a crucial role in network security. Let's see some of the key functions of firewall now. First one, access control. So firewalls use a set of defined rules to control network traffic. These rules determine which network packets are allowed or denied based on factors like source IP, destination IP address, port number, and protocol type. By doing so, firewalls ensure that only authorized traffic is permitted to enter or exit the network. Next function of firewall is packet filtering. Firewalls inspect network packets and compare them against the established rule set. Packets that match an allow rule are allowed to pass through, while those that match a deny rule are dropped or rejected. Next function is stateful inspection. Many modern firewalls employ stateful packet inspection. This tracks the state of active connections. This allows the firewall to make more informed decisions about whether to allow or deny traffic based on the context of the connections. Next is application layer filtering. Next gen firewalls offer deep packet inspection at the application layer. They can identify and control specific applications and services, making it possible to block or allow traffic related to applications like web browsing, email, or social media. Next is proxy services. Some firewalls act as proxy servers, intercepting and forwarding network traffic on behalf of internal clients. This can provide an additional layer of security by hiding the internal network structure and conducting deep inspections of content. Next, network address translation (NAT). Firewalls with NAT capabilities modify the source or destination address of packets as they pass through the firewall. NAT helps obscure internal network topology and can be used to conserve IP address space. Next is intrusion detection and prevention. Some firewalls integrate intrusion detection and prevention capabilities to identify and block known and emerging threats such as malware intrusion attempts and denial of service attacks. Next function is logging and auditing. Firewalls generate logs of network traffic and security events. These logs are valuable for monitoring and auditing network activity as well as for forensic analysis in the event of security incidents. Next one is VPN support. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. Firewalls often support VPNs, allowing secure remote access and encrypted communication over the internet. They can enforce security policies for VPN traffic. Next one is security policy enforcement. Firewalls play a crucial role in enforcing an organization's network security policies, ensuring that the network operates in compliance with these policies. So in summary, firewalls act as critical barrier in network security, controlling the flow of traffic in and out of a network based on defined rules. They help protect against unauthorized access, malware, and various threats while enforcing security policies and providing visibility into network activity. Firewalls are a cornerstone of network security and an essential component in safeguarding modern networks. Next question. Describe a typical incident response process. There's a video which talks in depth about incident response. I will link that in the description box, but for now, we'll see how the process works. First is preparation. So here you establish an incident response team, define roles and responsibilities, develop an IR plan, that is incident response plan, and set up necessary tools and resources. Next step, identification. This is the step where we detect and confirm the security incident, gather information, and classify its severity and impact. Third step, containment. Here we take immediate actions to contain the incident, preventing it from spreading further and causing more damages. Next one, eradication. Here we determine the root cause of the incident, remove any malicious components, and remediate vulnerabilities to prevent a reoccurrence. Next step is recovery. Here we restore affected systems and services to normal operation, verifying their integrity and security. Next step, lessons learned. Here we review the incident to understand what happened, why it happened, and how to improve the incident response process. Next one is reporting. We need to notify relevant stakeholders, including management, law enforcement if necessary, and any affected parties. Next step, documentation. We need to maintain detailed records of the incident, actions taken, and lessons learned for future reference. Last step is post incident review. Here we evaluate the overall response, identify areas for improvement, and update incident response procedures and policies. So, the first step is preparation, then identification, containment, that is immediate action to contain the incident, eradication, remove it completely, then it is recovery, lessons learned, reporting, documentation, and post incident review. Next question, explain the concept of packet filtering. We talked about this when we were talking about the firewall question. Let's see what this is in more depth. Packet filtering is a fundamental network security technique. It involves inspecting and controlling the flow of network packets or data units based on a set of predefined rules or criteria. These rules are defined by an administrator or a firewall device and are designed to determine which packets are allowed to pass through a network perimeter, for example, a firewall, and which should be blocked or discarded. Let's see how packet filtering works and its key components. First is packet inspection. When a network packet enters a device equipped with packet filtering capabilities, it undergoes inspection. The device examines the packet's header information, which includes details like source and destination IP addresses, source and destination port numbers, and protocol type like TCP or UDP. After packet inspection, it is rule-based decision. Based on the examination of the packet headers, the device compares the packet to a set of predefined filtering rules. These rules specify conditions that packets must meet to be allowed or denied. For example, a rule might allow incoming traffic from a specific IP address and port while blocking all other incoming traffic. Next step, action. If a packet matches a rule that allows it, it is permitted to continue its journey through the network. If the packet matches a rule that denies it, it is typically discarded or blocked. The device may also log the event for auditing purposes. Next, statefulness. Some packet filtering systems use stateful inspection to maintain information about active connections. This enables more sophisticated decision making, such as allowing responses to outgoing requests while blocking unsolicited incoming traffic. Packet filtering is a basic form of firewall functionality and it is used to enhance network security. Let's see how it enhances network security. First is access control. It controls which traffic is allowed to enter or exit a network, thus preventing unauthorized access. Next, protecting from malicious traffic. Packet filtering can be configured to block known malicious traffic patterns such as common attack vectors or malware signatures. Next one, network segmentation. Packet filtering can be used to segment a network into different security zones with specific rules for traffic between them. Next, network optimization. Packet filtering can help optimize network traffic by blocking unwanted, non-essential, or potentially harmful packets. So this is how it helps to enhance network security. But packet filtering has limitations, particularly when it comes to more advanced threat detection and prevention. Next generation firewalls and intrusion detection and prevention systems offer more sophisticated capabilities by inspecting packet content at deeper levels and making decisions based on the application layer or content inspection. These devices go beyond simple packet headers and offer a more comprehensive approach to network security. Next question, what is a security policy and why is it important? A security policy is a formal document that outlines an organization's guidelines, rules, and procedures related to information security. It serves as a comprehensive framework for establishing, implementing, and maintaining security measures to safeguard an organization's digital assets, data, systems, and networks. Let's see some of the reasons why it is important. First is risk management. Security policies help an organization identify and manage security risks. They establish a structured approach to mitigating vulnerabilities and minimizing the potential impact of security incidents. Next is consistency. Security policies ensure that security practices are consistent throughout the organization. This uniformity helps maintain a strong security posture across all departments and units. Next, compliance. Security policies often align with industry regulations, legal requirements, and compliance standards. Adhering to these policies helps organizations meet legal obligations and avoid costly fines and legal consequences. Next, data protection. Security policies define rules for handling sensitive data such as personal and financial information. They establish data protection measures to prevent breaches and data loss. Next is prevention of security incidents. Security policies provide guidance on implementing proactive measures which can help prevent security incidents like data breaches, unauthorized access, and malware infections. Next is incident response. They outline procedures for responding to security incidents, ensuring a swift and organized response to breaches, intrusions, and other threats. Next, resource allocation. Security policies help allocate resources effectively. By prioritizing security measures, organizations can direct their investments towards the most critical areas of vulnerability. Next, user awareness. Security policies educate employees and users about their responsibilities for maintaining security, thereby reducing the risk of insider threats. Next is business continuity. Security policies include strategies for ensuring business continuity during and after a security incident, reducing downtime and minimizing financial impact. Next one, access control. Security policies define access control rules, specifying who can access what resources, protecting against unauthorized access. Next, technology deployment. Policies guide the selection, deployment, and configuration of security technologies and tools. This ensures that they align with the organization's security objectives. Next one, accountability. Security policies create accountability. When everyone is aware of the rules and responsibilities, it becomes easier to hold individuals and teams accountable for their actions or inactions in maintaining security. Next, change management. They provide a framework for managing changes to the organization's IT environment, ensuring that security measures are considered during changes in technology, processes, or policies. So, in summary, security policies are essential for establishing a proactive and organized approach to information security. They protect against risks, promote compliance, and provide a roadmap for defending an organization's digital assets against a wide range of threats. Next question. Explain what is two-factor authentication. It is a security process that requires two distinct forms of identification before granting access to a system, application, or account. It acts an extra layer of security beyond a traditional username and password combination. The two factors typically fall into three categories. Let's see what are those. First one, something you know. This is typically a username and password combination. It's information that the user knows and uses to provide their identity. Next is something you have. This involves possessing a physical item, often a mobile device, security token, or smart card, which generates or receives a one time code or authentication token. Next one is something you are. This refers to biometric information such as fingerprints, retina scans, or facial recognition that uniquely identifies an individual based on their physical traits. So, for you to achieve two factor, you will have to use one factor from two of these categories. You cannot use the same thing from one category and be like it is two factor. No, that is not two factor. You will have to use one from two of these categories. Like if you're using username, then you will have to use something from here or here, maybe biometric or smart card. So a two factor enhances security by requiring a combination of any two of these factors. For example, a common implementation might involve entering a username and password, that is something you know, along with one time code generated by a mobile app, that is something you have. Even if an attacker obtains a user password, they would still need the second factor, that is the mobile device or authentication token, to gain access, making unauthorized access more difficult. Let's go to the next question. Describe social engineering attacks. Social engineering attacks are a type of cybersecurity attack that exploits human psychology and behavior to manipulate individuals into disclosing confidential information, performing actions, or making security mistakes. These attacks rely on deception, persuasion, and often impersonation rather than technical vulnerabilities to achieve their objectives. Let's see some of the common types of social engineering attacks. First one, phishing. In phishing attacks, the attacker sends fraudulent emails, messages, or websites that mimic legitimate entities such as banks or trusted organizations. The goal is to trick recipients into providing sensitive information like passwords, credit card numbers, or personal data. Next one, spear phishing. Spear phishing is similar to phishing but more targeted. Spear phishing involves customized messages sent to specific individuals, often using personal information to make the attack more convincing. Next is whaling. Whaling is a specific type of spear phishing that targets high profile individuals or executives within an organization. This aims to steal sensitive corporate information or compromise their accounts. Next one, wishing. It's also called as voice phishing. This involves phone calls or voicemail messages in which the attacker impersonates a legitimate organization aiming to extract personal or financial information from the victim. Next is baiting. Baiting attacks offer something enticing, such as a free software download or physical media, for example, an infected USB drive. This is done with the intention of luring victims into taking actions that compromise their security. Next, pretexting. This involves creating a fabricated scenario or pretext to gain a victim's trust and extract information. Attackers may impersonate a trustworthy individual, such as a company employee, to trick the victim. Next, tailgating and piggybacking. These are physical security breaches. They occur when an unauthorized person gains access to a secured area by following an authorized person through a door or access points. Next is quid pro quo. In these attacks, the attacker promises something in return for information or assistance. For example, the attacker might claim to be an IT support technician who needs the victim's password to fix a supposed issue. Next, impersonation. Attackers may impersonate authority figures or legitimate entities such as law enforcement officers, IT personnel, or company executives to manipulate individuals into complying with their requests. Next is human based attacks. Some social engineering attacks rely on exploiting human traits like trust, curiosity, and a desire to be helpful. Attackers manipulate these qualities to achieve their goals. So, social engineering attacks are effective because they exploit exploit the weakest link in cybersecurity, that is human behavior. To defend against these attacks, individuals and organizations must prioritize security awareness and training, implement security policies and controls, and maintain vigilance when dealing with unsolicited requests for information or actions. Describe the terms honeypot and honeynet. A honeypot is a single, isolated decoy system or service that is set up to attract and monitor attackers. It is a single point of focus designed to mimic a specific system or service. Whereas honeypot is a more comprehensive and complex network of interconnected honeypots and other security tools. It mimics an entire network environment with multiple systems and services, providing a broader attack surface. Honeypots are relatively simple and focused. They're designed to attract and analyze attacks on a specific system or service. They are easier to set up and manage. Honeypots are more complex and require additional resources to set up and maintain. They involve multiple decoy systems, networks, and monitoring tools, which can be more challenging to configure and manage. The primary purpose of a honeypot is to attract, detect, and analyze malicious activities directed to a specific system or service. It is often used for early threat detection and information gathering about attacker tactics. Whereas honey nets are more extensive and provide a broader view of attacker behavior within a network. They are used for in depth threat analysis, tracking attackers as they move within the network, and gathering intelligence on their methods. Honeypots are typically used in smaller scale scenarios and by individual researchers or organizations looking to gain insights into specific types of attacks. Honey nets are employed in larger scale environments, including enterprise networks and academic research projects. They offer a more comprehensive view of network based threats and attacks. So, in summary, while both honey-nets and honeypots are cybersecurity tools designed to attract and monitor attackers, honeypots are smaller in scope and focused on specific targets, while honey nets are more extensive network based systems that provide a broader view of attacks within a network environment. Next question: explain the concept of access control. It is a fundamental concept in cybersecurity and information security that involves the management and regulation of permissions and privileges to access digital resources, systems, and data. It is the practice of ensuring that the right individuals or entities have appropriate access to resources while preventing unauthorized or malicious users from gaining access. So, there is another video with detailed explanation of access control. I will link that as well in the description if you want to have more details. Right now, we'll see the key components of access control. First is identification. Users must identify themselves to a system, often by providing a username or account name. This is the first step in the access control process. Next is authentication. After identification, users must prove their identity through authentication methods such as passwords, biometrics, smart cards, or tokens. Next is authorization. Once a user's identity is confirmed, the system checks their permissions and rights to determine what actions or resources they are allowed to access. This is known as authorization. Next, access rights. Access control defines the specific rights or privileges granted to users or entities. This specifies what actions they can perform, like, read, write, execute, and more, and which resources they can access. Access control mechanisms can be implemented at various levels. Let's see some of them. First is physical access control. This is restricting physical access to facilities, server rooms, or data centers using methods like keycards, biometric scanners, or security personnel. Next is Network access control. This is controlling access to network resources, devices, and services. This often involves firewalls, routers, and VPNs. Next is operating system access control. This is managing user accounts, roles, and permissions within an operating system to control access to files, directories, and system services. Next is application access control. This is defining and enforcing access permissions within specific applications or software, often involving role based access control or attribute based access control. Now, let's see why access control is important. First is data protection. It prevents unauthorized access to sensitive data, ensuring confidentiality and privacy. Next is security. It safeguards against insider threats and external attacks by limiting access to critical resources. Next, compliance. Access control is often a requirement for regulatory compliance, such as HIPAA or GDPR, which mandate protecting personal and sensitive data. Next is business continuity. Access control helps maintain business operations by ensuring that only authorized personnel can access systems and data. So, an effective access control is an integral part of an organization's overall security strategy, working alongside other security measures like authentication, encryption, and intrusion detection to create a robust security framework. Let's go to the next question. What is a threat vector? A threat vector is a pathway or method through which a cyber threat, such as malware or a cyber attack, gains access to a target system, network, or organization. Threat vectors are the means by which threats are delivered and executed, and understanding them is crucial for effective cybersecurity. Threat vectors can take various forms. Let's see some of the examples. First one, email. Phishing emails are a common threat vector. Attackers send deceptive emails that appear legitimate to trick recipients into clicking on malicious links, downloading infected attachments, or providing sensitive information. Once the recipient interacts with the email, the threat is executed. For example, an employee receives an email that appears to be from a trusted source, asking them to click on a link to update their login credentials. Clicking on the link leads to a phishing website that steals their login information. Next, threat vector, malicious websites. Visiting compromised or malicious websites can introduce malware to a user's device. These websites often exploit vulnerabilities in web browsers or plugins to deliver malware to the user system. Next threat vector example is removable media. External devices like USB drives can act as threat vectors. When an infected USB drive is connected to a computer, it can introduce malware or execute malicious scripts on the system. For example, an employee plugs in a seemingly harmless USB drive they found, which contains malware that infects their workstation and potentially spreads across the network. So these are few of the examples. It can be a mobile app, malicious download, software vulnerabilities, social engineering. All these are threat vectors. Understanding threat vectors is essential for implementing effective cybersecurity measures. By identifying and mitigating these pathways, organizations can reduce the risk of cyber threats and better protect their systems and data. So that's it for today, guys. I hope this video helped you understand a few more cybersecurity topics for entry level SOC interview. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos. That will help us a lot. I will see you in another video with part 3, talking about more questions regarding the entry level SOC interview. Until then, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.